interesting. So.
Well, let's stay with Charles Soule, right? Since we're already talking
Yeah.
about Charles Soule. So we got a couple articles. I'll start off this one. So we got big news out of New York Comic Con, which is awesome. Charles Soule and Steve McNiven's dark future epic Daredevil Cold Day in Hell begins in April 2025. So Soule and McNiven team up for Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. Set in a dark future, Matt Murdock reclaims his powers to fight evil. McNiven returns to Marvel for his first major project in nearly a decade. So it's going to be inspired by Frank Miller. The series aims for bold storytelling and daring risks. So it's a bit of the way into the future, or I'm sorry, which is a bit of the way into the future, but this will go further. Announced at Marvel Fanfare panel. Let's see. I'm trying to like pick out the best parts, so I'm not reading this whole article. So, following their work together on Death of Wolverine, this creative team reunited on a future Daredevil in the same spirit as what McNiven did with Mark Miller on Old Man Logan. Set in a Marvel Universe future on the brink of collapse, the series introduced a grizzled, older version of Matt Murdock. So this is a quote. Years into the future, powerless Matt Murdock is no longer Daredevil, but he's still the man without fear. Doing whatever he can to help those in need in a city broken beyond repair, he'll finally be able to take the fight to where it matters most when something catastrophic happens, causing his powers to miraculously return. With no one by his side, Daredevil has little chance against the evil permeating every corner until Captain America entrusts him with a mission to safeguard the world's only hope. I know whatever idea I write is going to be executed masterfully by Steve, and that level of trust allows you to take a lot of risks, Soule said. It's been really interesting progress because the way we made it is something I wouldn't do with an artist that I didn't have this level of collaboration and trust with. We've been working on this book for 4 years, and that time has been well spent. I started out by going, why are not more people learning from Frank Miller and the storytelling he does, McNiven said. I was inspired by his work on Dark Knight Returns. To a certain degree, the structure of the 16-panel grid forces you to do different storytelling techniques. So Cold Day in Hell, it's going to be a 3-issue series on sale in April of 2024. Future version in the story, old man story, if you want, of Daredevil. I'm really pumped, man. I mean, I love Charles Soule's run on Daredevil was great. I love Charles Soule, and I just love Daredevil in general, man. Right? You know,
Oh, you love Charles Soule.
I love him.
Sweet.
I love him so much.
Yeah, it's we kind of are fomenting. Is this the Old Man Logan timeline, or is this something completely different? It's interesting though. He says he took 4 years, and it's only going to be a 3-issue mini. This better be the best written 3-issue mini ever.
Well, maybe it's 4 years of like the idea. They've been kicking it around, and their schedules
Yes.
didn't align, or I mean, McNiven didn't come back to Marvel. That's probably really what it was just like schedules aligning. I mean,
Timing, yeah.
Okay. Soule's busy, and as you're going to see as we talk about more articles here, man, we got like. You want to bring up the next Charles?
Yeah,
This is like
yeah.
the Charles Soule like suckathon here.
Yeah, so he is all over the Marvel universe. So Kylo, this is over at bleedingcool.com. Kylo Ren returns in the 2025 in Star Wars Legacy of Vader. So we just had the Vader ending, the Star Wars ending, Dr. Aphra, Bounty Hunters, all that stuff ended this year. So launching in 2025, Star Wars Legacy of Vader by Charles Soule and Luke Ross, starring Kylo Ren. So this is going to be starring Kylo Ren in his new comic book series. Basically, Kylo explores the obsession of his grandfather, Darth Vader, set between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. The series divulges into Kylo's rule, follows his journey to Mustafar and Tatooine, seeking Vader's legacy and guidance.
No, that's gonna be cool.
I don't even know. Yeah, dude, I speak very highly of Charles Soule's Darth Vader 2 run.
Oh yeah,
and the last one wasn't that great, but. Yeah, man, I think this is going to be very interesting because this is again untapped stuff between episode 8 and 9. Kind of right in the beginning of episode 9, we really get to see like the power of Kylo Ren, like him just beating the shit out of people, and that's kind of what we wanted from Kylo Ren and his obsession with being a Sith. And I'm definitely interested in this. So it goes to talk about. Soule says, when fans talk to me about Star Wars work, 2 of my Marvel Comics runs come up, which is almost everything. With more than anything else, my 2017 run on Darth Vader, Volume 2, with Giuseppe Camaculi, and my 2019 Rise of Kylo Ren with Will Sweeney. And that's true. Those are like 2 good runs for him. with there's tons of other stuff in there, but I mean, you can't hit. I feel like what I said this with. It's like you could literally throw a dart at the Marvel Star Wars universe, and you'd hit a Charles Soule book.
Yeah, that's true. Whether it's High Republic or the Vader stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
or even the ongoing Volume 2 stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I'm excited.
I think this is great because, like, obviously Kylo Ren is an important character in the sequel trilogy, and, all that aside, whether you liked it or not, he was an interesting character, both because of, like, his parentage and just his history and everything. And so it is going to be kind of nice to see that open up a little bit, right? Where we left him at the end of Rise of Skywalker, where he's now the supreme leader to, I'm sorry, end of Last Jedi to where he's the supreme leader to the Rise of Skywalker. So
Hmm.
what happened in between there? Like, how was he as the leader when he kind of was like in charge? And I think it's great to see him kind of go to, obviously, seeing Kylo Ren at Mustafar and both Tatooine, two locations which are like seeped in Darth Vader lore, but we didn't see in the sequel trilogy. So, oh man, I think this is gonna be really cool. I'm pretty pumped for that too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an awesome one. Vader's castle, dude. Gonna see him in Vader's castle. That's gonna be awesome. So,
It's going to be a wild ride for 2025 because yeah, like you said, he doesn't have Snoke, so there's nobody above him at this point.
right.
And this is like the Kylo Ren that we want to see,
Mhm.
the powerful, thinking of what he did to his parents, and just a badass. Like he doesn't have to answer to anybody, so now he can. And I'm sure we're going to see Hux, right,
Yeah.
and some type of flashbacks and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So one more from Bleeding Cool and sticking on the Charles Soule train here. Eddie Brock is now the new Carnage at Marvel Comics. So spinning out of Venom War, Charles Soule and Jesus Saiz, Eddie Brock, Carnage will be launching in February. So we kind of know what's going on, and this is kind of a bummer. And we talked
Super
about it,
bummer.
like, yeah, we already know kind of then how it's gonna be the end of Venom One. It kind of stinks when they do stuff like this. We saw with All In as well, which has been great, but sometimes you wish like, hey, let the event end before you announce stuff. But obviously, you got to announce stuff too as well.
The
So
internet sucks.
yeah, the internet sucks. The internet
It
kind of sucks. Yeah,
does.
dude, it just ruins
It
shit
does.
and lives. It
We
ruins
didn't
lives,
have this
dude.
back in the day. You
I
didn't
know.
know who the next
You
Batman was
never
going to
knew,
be.
man.
Like
Yeah.
when he got his back broken, you didn't realize.
Yeah.
You didn't
Who's
know
Azrael?
Superman, like
Yeah.
the reign of the Superman. You didn't know. It was just like cool stuff that came out. Like
Yeah. But I guess if we didn't know, we wouldn't be able to talk about it. So anyway, here's the go on to say launching in February, Eddie Brock Carnage will be written by Soule, known for his acclaimed run on Star Wars, like we just talked about, and drawn by Jesus Saiz, following his extraordinary work on recent titles like Captain America and Punisher. Set in the aftermath of Venom War, the startling saga sees longtime Venom host Eddie Brock operating as the new host of the violent and sadistic Carnage symbiote. The series will interact with the other flagship symbiote title, All New Venom, which sees the Venom symbiote take on a yet to be revealed host. So here's the quotes. The most lethal protector of all. He's been Venom. He's been anti-Venom. He's been the King in Black. Now Eddie Brock has made his darkest bond yet as he joins with the one and only Carnage. Can he control his new other's endless bloodlust, or will he give himself over to madness and murder? Join Eddie and Carnage on a journey into the darkest parts of the Marvel Universe with bloody death as their only guide. Carnage is someone that has to kill, so Eddie has to feed him deaths in order for Eddie to be okay with that. The people he feeds Carnage are serial killers, Soule explained. But Carnage is also an addict, and addicts need bigger and bigger highs. I'm having a blast with this, he continues. Jesus Saiz wanted to do a horror book. This is his wheelhouse. He loves creepy,
mm,
organic things to draw, and I'm giving him everything he can handle. So I do like kind of this idea, right? We saw it with what Torn did with Carnage. It was very violent,
mhm.
really leaned heavy into like Charles says in the quote, a horror aspect and violent, sadistic, and serial killer-esque. So I like that they're following that vein and they're keeping it going. And even just reading that quote, it makes me feel, what makes me think about immediately was Dexter, right? Like
Mhm.
Dexter was this psychopath who his father trained him to, okay, dude, you got to take out your urges. Let's do it on bad people, right? So Eddie's now, okay, feed the beast, feed Carnage. Let's find some serial killers. So, of course, like the article says, I'm sure it's not going to really work out so smoothly that way. But yeah, it's cool. It's a cool idea, I guess. We'll see how it goes. Did you read Venom War Carnage #3 this
Yeah.
week.
So I was going to bring that up. So I'm
Yeah.
sure
Okay.
we'll talk about it in the comic stuff. But
Yeah.
the last issue of the Venom War sees the release of Cletus Cassidy separating himself from the Carnage symbiote.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of like where they're going. But again, like it sucks because it would have been more interesting the lead up of like what's going to happen.
Mhm.
Maybe either not announce a new Carnage series or announce it and don't say who it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then when you read this book and you're just like, oh damn, he's going to leave. Like what crazier person other than Cletus Cassidy could be Carnage?
Right. Yeah. Like, what is like a final panel of Venom War? Like the goo drops down on Eddie or something. Like the Carnage
Yeah.
symbiote goo drops on him.
Or in
Something like
Venom,
that would have
yeah,
been cool.
sometime in
Yeah.
Venom War. Yeah. Like he
Yeah.
just kind of it follows him because however it's gonna be,
Yeah.
at the end of this Venom War series, which still goes 2 more months.
Yeah.
So
But cool. Definitely be reading that and checking it out.